It was, man. I still sometimes when I think about it, can't believe it because it's Andy Murray, you know,
Yeah.
and Judy. So it's still crazy. But I think that it helped me a lot in terms of my tennis confidence and really believing that, you know, I'm not just the best in South Africa or the best in Africa, but I'm one of the best junior players in the world. So
in the world,
so it was important for me to hear that from her, I think, and I carried on doing well after that. But it was like I couldn't believe it, I think, when she came up and
What's up?
I'm good. Just in the study center, just getting some work in.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just tired. Been a long day. And we've got finals happening right now in about a week now, so a lot of studying to do.
Yeah, you look a bit winded, man, but I can see it. Just keep going,
Tired.
bro.
I've been up since 6-7 a.m. So
yeah.
How about you? How are you doing?
I'm just battling the heat, man. It's so hot in the side.
I wish I was battling the heat.
No, I don't think so. Bro. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so, man. Man, it's crazy. I mean, on the other hand, when the winter's like extremely cold, right, and then summer's like extremely hot. But either way, I do prefer summer, because I think in winter you have to wear your whole wardrobe. So, yeah.
I agree.
Cool, bro. Yeah, man. So, yeah, this is it. We're here. So just for you to get familiar with me, I'm Tholi, right?
Yes.
So I'm the founder of the organization. So what we're doing now. So we just basically get people like you, like influential athletes, and we'll just create this platform where kids can watch and get inspiration from you, you know, and just for you to inspire them as to how you got there, how you're staying at the top, right? And what it means to like be a world athlete, well, you're an international athlete, internationally recognized, right? So, so I think it's important to have figures like you speaking to the kids, you know. So we've been doing this for quite a long time. So thank you so much for taking your time out of your busy schedule. I know you're a busy man, breaking records and stuff. Yeah, it's like you and your brother just doing something great. So
thank you.
Yeah, bro. So yeah, I don't know if you have any questions. Then we can start. So
no, I don't have any questions. I think well, thank you for having me, and I think what you're doing is amazing. Helping kids, and I know that's something I always want to do, you know. So
yeah,
it's amazing what you're doing, and you know, I definitely think you should keep it up. You know, need more people
thank you.
like you.
What was your first love at serve, if that makes sense?
that was a good effort. There's not too many tennis puns, but I would say, so it's funny, when I started playing, you know, when I was very young, I played a lot of different sports, but soccer was the main thing. And that's what, my dad, you know, grew me up to play, and I was good. I think if it wasn't for tennis, it would probably be soccer. But so I started playing when I was 9 at school, and you know, I played for that year, and I think when I was around like 12, when I took my first international trip, that was to Malaysia at the time. I think that's really when I was like, oh, okay, I like doing this, but you know, there's a lot of benefits to it. But that's really when I started really enjoying you know, the tennis.
Cool, man. And then, like, were there any influential figures at the time? I mean, we grew up watching Roger Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and have any of those athletes like pushed you and like, no, I want actually wanna do this,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah. I definitely, like the three you just mentioned, have definitely pushed me to, dream bigger and work harder.
sure.
My favorite tennis player is Djokovic, and then I'll put Federer
Mine
behind
too.
him.
Mine
Yep,
too.
yep, 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 yep. But growing up, I looked up to Djokovic and Roger Federer a lot, and I had Guillermo Fils too, the French player. Um,
Yeah,
um, just because when I was younger, when I was still learning about tennis, he was the first black guy I saw on TV play,
cool.
and
Yeah,
and not just play, but me like up there in terms of a big influence for me in tennis and starting the sport.
for sure. And then like, how do you think why is it like so important, do you think, to have, I mean, black athletes at the highest level succeeding, you know, for reasons that you've raised, that it does inspire the next generation, but I think it does go beyond that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it definitely having black athletes perform at the highest level and win at the highest level, and no matter what it is that you do, is important because it definitely it makes you feel like you can achieve it too if you see someone that looks like you doing it.
yeah,
It makes you really believe it even more. So
exactly.
I think that's why it's important to to have black athletes achieve
Black
at the highest
athletes,
level.
for sure, for sure. And I just speak about your dad. What has his role been in your career so far, and how has he, as a father figure, played his role, you know, in your life, also as a
Yeah,
man, you know? Yeah,
yeah.
not only as an athlete. Yeah,
My dad, my father's played a huge role in my life. Both my parents, mom and dad.
yeah,
But definitely my dad has played a big role. Since I was very young, like training me in a bunch of different sports, soccer, like I mentioned, and all this other stuff. So, and he's always been there to support me through everything. I think that's one thing we, never really always had the best financial situation as a family,
yeah,
but if there's one thing I know we've always had is support and love from my parents. So my dad helping me out with all my sports and all of that stuff has such a big influence, and my dad is my role model. So
yeah,
it definitely plays a big role, and off the court too, like you said, as being a man, has played a big role, as you know, in the Xhosa culture.
yeah.
Um, Going through all of that, and obviously that whole process, obviously my dad helped me go through it. So he definitely plays a huge role in my life.
And since your dad played that role, did you also play that role with your younger brother? I mean, I think he's
Yeah.
followed in your footsteps, and you guys are like, yeah, just really smashing. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely. I think seeing it from my dad and how my dad has helped me and been there for me in everything has definitely helped me do it for my brother, which he'll tell you is what I always do. So
yeah, yeah,
seeing it from my father made it easier for me to do, and in helping my little brother.
yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah,
I think it's important for to have fathers like yours, you know, in our society, where
yeah,
I think a lot of young men are actually fatherless, so which leads to them doing things that
exactly,
and really don't really contribute positively to society. So I think
exactly.
what he's doing now is that he has guided you, so then you can also guide the next generation, which could be your kids or kids
Mhm.
that you inspire, and
Exactly. Yeah.
so forth, right?
Hmm.
So I just wanted to ask, like, how did it feel when Andy Murray's mom acknowledged you? You know, when you were at the Australian Open, the juniors, right?
Yeah.
How did that feel? Because I mean, Andy's one of the biggest tennis athletes in the world, and for her to
Yeah.
come and say you are the most talented youngster that she's seen. I mean,
Yeah.
that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah. It
That is
was.
huge. That is huge.
Yeah.
Can't downplay that. Never.
Thank you. Thank you. It was, man. I still sometimes when I think about it can't believe it because it's Andy Murray, and
Yeah.
and Judy. So it's still crazy. But I think that it helped me a lot in terms of my tennis confidence and really believing that, you know, I'm not just the best in South Africa or the best in Africa, but I'm one of the best junior players in the world. So
in the
it was,
world, yeah.
yeah. So it was important for me to hear that from her, I think, and I carried on doing well after that. But it was like I couldn't believe it, I think, when she came up and talked to me, because I don't know, I never, I say this, you know, to my brother and people around me too, but I never believe in my own hype too much. I just do what I do. But it was just, I was kind of shocked that she came over to watch me and wanted to talk to me and get a picture, and then I ended up talking with Andy a little bit, and also talking to his brother Jamie too a little bit. So that was crazy to me that all of that happened, because I'm just a kid from East London, South Africa, and playing in Australia was really big for me. But having that happen was, man, I still can't believe it. It's crazy. It is.
And then, like, after the whole thing, did you get to speak to Andy? Did you?
Yeah. I talked to him. I talked to him for a little bit, just about tennis and practice, and he gave me some advice on what he thinks, you know, I should keep working on. And really the biggest thing he said, just keep working on my physicality and getting stronger and stuff. And, you know, he just would like to see me play on tour one day. So it was good to hear those words of encouragement, you know, from him, especially because he's done it and dominated, you know, at the highest level.
Highest level, for sure. For sure. But I mean, do you also think, like, besides, I mean, physically becoming stronger, I think also your mental side and your emotional side to the game should be also as equally strong.
100%.
Yeah.
100. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. 100%. I think the mental part probably has to be even better than the physical, you know, because it's very strenuous, but also being able to calm down your nerves, deal with the pressure, and, you know, not letting your emotions get the best of you is important. So having that emotional IQ and being mentally strong too is very, very, very important. So and that's something I keep working on every day. I feel like you never just get to a point where you don't improve. So
yeah, I think people always label it as a destination, right? That you improve to a certain point, but I think the mental side to the game is it's a journey, right? I mean, when I see, even I'm a big football fan, right? So when I watch Ronaldo, Messi, the guys at the highest level, I mean, if you put that guy in the final of the World Cup, right? Like, he's never been in that moment before, and he has to now calm down, because I mean, it's like a traffic jam in your head. All these thoughts are like passing through, right? And you like Sipho, you probably at the World Tennis Championships, right? And now this is the game where you win the trophy for yourself and your country. And in that moment, like, how do you take a deep breath? What happens? Like, is there any technique that you can suggest for athletes to, like, guys, okay, this is like a technique that you use? You just breathe and just take it all in, and you just
I'm glad you mentioned that. I would say at least this is what works for me. Definitely recommend it to other athletes and young kids, not just in sports, but other things too. I play my best tennis or perform my best when I'm relaxed. So whenever I'm in a big pressure moment or high, like, you know, a big moment, I just get things out of my mind. Just clear everything out and try to keep my mind as clear as possible. Because when I'm not thinking of anything, that's when I do what I have to do and perform best in the moment. So I'd say that, I think, being able to clear your mind and not overthinking things, whether it's good or bad, I just, even the good things, I just get out of my mind completely and just relax myself and stay in the moment. I think that's another big thing. I tell myself to stay in the moment too.
Stay in the moment,
yeah.
In the moment. And do you have any, like, pre-match routines? Or, like, I mean, athletes do have, like, superstitions where I mean, it's crazy. So do you have like any where you're like, okay, before a game, if I don't do this,
I always put my left shoe on first. Always.
Why?
I don't know. It just makes sense to me. I just always do. And before matches, I always at least spend 45 minutes to an hour by myself, just listening to music. Whether even during the season, when we're playing as a team, my coaches know that, too, and my teammates know that I have 45 minutes by myself, just sort of meditating and listening to my music and doing a couple shadow swings, just trying to calm myself down, getting into it. So that's usually what I do before matches.
And then, like, what music do you listen to in that moment? Is it trap, hip hop, jazz?
A lot of hip hop. It's hip hop.
Okay. I'd say J. Cole. I'll put J. Cole. I think for sure.
Jay, I like Kendrick.
Genius.
But
Genius.
Yeah.
Genius.
So I like hip hop before matches, for sure. I'll say Grom, but not before matches. That gets me too hyped up. So.
Okay, but Grom has faded actually now.
I know. Some up here, and I've been hearing. I've been hearing. I've been trying to keep up.
Yeah, it's Amapiano to the world now, man. It's actually big. It's big. I've just seen now that Kwesi, your doubles partner, has just joined in.
Yeah.
I think it looks like you guys have a good relationship on the pitch. How is he as a partner, as an athlete, as a man?
Yeah, Q. That's my homie. That's my brother. We roommates too. But if anyone knows on campus that if you see Q, you're gonna see me, or if you see me,
for sure.
Q. So we always together, and he's a great guy and supports me a lot too. Off the court, I definitely credit him as someone who's helped me a lot to perform consistently here. He always tries to make sure I'm ready for matches and all that kind of thing. So I really enjoy having Q around, and that's really my brother, and I try to do the same for him. He's a funny guy, and he's got a big personality too. So he definitely helps make it enjoyable. I'd say that, and it's crazy because the first time we met each other, like, we instantly clicked, and it was just crazy to even music, all the same song, everything, and we never met each other. And it was just crazy to us how we grew up like oceans across each other, and like a lot of the same things. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And then, how do you? When you work with someone, right, as a team, it's I think with you guys it's much more personal because it's just the two of you, right? So then, how do you put your egos aside and say, okay, I'm not. Okay, this is not about me. It's about the both of us, because I think you could both be the best athletes, but if you can't collaborate and do something together, then it doesn't work out. So how do you put your egos aside and man, okay, we're gonna do this?
Yeah. Both me and Q are very confident guys, but I think it naturally happens just because there's a mutual respect. And we respect each other, so we always are communicating about what's the best tactic or what we should do, and we agree. We always make sure we agree before we run any plays or anything like that. But I think the biggest thing is that there's a mutual respect there, and so the ego and everything just goes out the window.
Aside,
yeah.
Oh, nice though, man. I think you guys just keep going. Just all the best in what you're doing.
Thank you.
And so far, how's your time been at the university? Okay, my tongue's gonna get twisted a bit. Illinois, University of Illinois. Kevin Anderson was also an alumni at the same university. Currently ranked number 8. So I think you know what that means, man. You probably you probably go as far as 8th in the world, probably number 1. Yeah.
I hope so. It's my experience has been amazing here. I've met so many people, so many different people. My coaches have been good, and I enjoy working with them.
Yeah.
and like my tennis has got so much better, and it's just been really great. Besides, like, not just the tennis side of it, but the people I've met, the network that I have since I've been here has been just crazy. So I really appreciate being here, and I understand how big of an opportunity it is, and I try to embrace the pressures that come with it, especially on the tennis side, being the South African player, and everyone obviously making
Yeah.
the Kevin Anderson comparisons, even a lot, even over here. So I embrace it. I never let it get to my head. At the end of the day, I know who I am, and I'm trying to be the first Siphos Montsi one day. So, or Siphosothando Montsi, as I like to
Yeah.
have my full name. So yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And how have you dealt with like the culture shift? I mean, moving from South Africa to the US, and like what can you say are like the huge differences between South African tennis and tennis also in the US? Right?
Um, the culture shift, definitely, it took some time for me. I'd probably say I only felt settled in here at school, maybe like the beginning of my second year.
Yeah.
So it took some time to adjust, because it's very different, and like I think one of the biggest things for me getting used to, right, was being on time, because back home
Yeah,
we
yeah.
take our time, but over here they don't,
African
they don't.
time. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. But they don't play that over here, so I had to get used to that a lot when I first got over here. But besides that, it's it's different, but it's not. I don't think it's not as big as people would say. Like the difference, the big culture shift, because I feel like the U.S. influence, you can see it back home. So
Yeah.
it wasn't that bad. But yeah.
So at least, I mean, well, you haven't adopted the accent, so it's something I'm happy about. So at least.
I try. I try not to. I just know how to do it if people don't understand me, because I don't like repeating myself sometimes. So.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And then how was it when you won your first college match against Minnesota?
Mhm. It was, man. It was good. Really, it was good to get that off my shoulders. Because, like I said, even when I first came, and I wasn't only just a big recruit, but from South Africa,
Yeah,
and the program has ties with South African tennis and Illinois tennis. So there were a lot of people talking, a lot of people watching, waiting to see what I was going to do, and so it was good to get my first win and get that off my shoulders. So.
that's great. It's great, bro. Totally. And then like, and which tournament would you rank the highest that you've competed in? I mean, you've competed in the wait, I'm not familiar. It's the
Mhm.
Australian Open, Davis Cup.
Yeah.
I think there's also like Roland Garros. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's tough. Australian Open for sure, and juniors is up there. I'd put Davis Cup up there. It's obviously a prestigious event representing my country at the senior level too. So um, I'd put those two up there. Davis Cup and Australian Open. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and who has been like your toughest opponent? Where like this guy, bruh. Yeah, he
Mhm.
brings the heat, Joe. He brings the heat. Yeah,
I would say, his name is Miomir Kecmanovic. I played him in juniors, and when I was 18, and I think
yeah.
he's top 50 in the world now,
Top
ATP.
50.
Yep.
Jeez, it's crazy.
Yeah, I'd say him. Hugo Gaston. He's from France. He's top
Like,
100
I
now.
know Hugo Gaston. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Played him. So I played with those guys in juniors. Shapovalov, Corentin Moutet. Um, yeah, there's a few
I
others.
mean, there should be
I'm
some
forgetting.
mutual respect because I mean, you competed with them, and like, okay,
Yeah, yeah,
Sips is also, man, he also competes.
yeah,
I think there should be mutual respect for, I mean, between all of you guys. Like,
yeah,
man, this is like
yeah.
the highest level.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think there is, because I think not only because of the tennis, but obviously we obviously talk and get to know these guys, and just, other things, and the background and stuff. Like Mir had, left Serbia when he was 13, to pursue his tennis dream. And so we talk about stuff like that, and the
Yeah.
respect, comes into that, because we obviously know the work and sacrifices we put in. So, so the respect is always there.
And then on like the women's side, are there any upcoming female tennis athletes that you think we should look out for, in your opinion? Be like, okay, she's especially from Africa. I mean, yeah.
Sada. There's a girl named Sada Nahimana. She's from Burundi, but she trains in France. I think she's 18, 19.
Yeah.
Probably might be around 500-600 in the world already, on the WTA. So I definitely think she's one to look out for, from Africa.
And then, like, I think you guys as African athletes, right? Not just tennis athletes. What do you think can be done to grow the game in Africa? I mean, especially in my neighborhood, right? There's only one tennis court, which is in Yeovil, right? So it houses about 110 kids, right?
Wow.
And there's only like 5 coaches, girls and boys. And it's like, what structures can be put in place to grow the sport, especially like in underprivileged communities?
I definitely think, like you said, having tennis courts, that's huge. A sport like tennis, you need to have the facilities, and it's tough because it's such an expensive sport, so expensive, but definitely tennis courts is the biggest thing, first of all, to growing the game. And I also think just putting it out there on TV more, letting people see more of
For
tennis.
sure.
And not just putting Wimbledon on there, but showing development programs that are happening in South Africa, so people can really know what's going on, and from that, more financial help always comes. So I think that's important, having the facilities first, building more tennis courts, but also more awareness for the game, to get more growth for it.
And is there any role that parents can play? I mean, school teachers. If there's no like tennis court, right? Well, what can you use to play tennis? Can you play on the corridor? Can you play on the?
Oh yeah, you just find a wall. Growing up, that's me and my brother. That's all.
On the
Have
wall,
a court.
yeah.
We play on the wall. We play in the driveway. As long as you have rackets and a tennis ball, you can play anywhere. And to your question about parents play a huge role. I think parents, sometimes they try to do a little bit too much, but I think I just tell parents to just support their kids and what they want to do, and just back them.
And are there any like stigmas that you think we should get rid of? I mean, once you say black man playing tennis, it's like, that's a white sport.
Yeah.
Why are you? Yeah. Besides that, what other stigmas do you think we should get rid of?
I think that's the biggest one. The tennis is a white sport, or rich kid sport. I think that's the biggest one, because I think it obviously, majority of tennis players are white tennis players, but I also definitely think there's a lot of space for black players to be successful in tennis, and there's a lot of money in it too. I think that's really, if there's any stigmas, I think that's the one that I think, especially in South Africa, we need to get rid of, because it stops certain kids from playing the game.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, and I agree with what you said. I think hopefully one day we can make a difference. With the little that we have. I don't know, whatever it is.
Are you already making a difference, bro? So it's it's amazing.
Yeah, we tried.
I'm still
like, I'm looking to do more, right? So I'm trying to get like some tennis rackets.
Oh yeah, I
all
mean,
these things for the Yeovil Tennis Club, right?
hmm
So that it grows also, so that at least I know that I've had a positive impact on some kids' lives. That they could at least leave the hood and yeah, I mean, be a champion one day and go back to a neighborhood where no one has been that successful. So I'm hoping
yeah,
that we can inspire change like that in our community. Yeah. But it all starts here, of course.
exactly. And I think you already are inspiring kids and making a change. And I also think would be great if we stay in touch and keep working in the future.
Yeah,
Because I know I always like to do things to give back, especially whenever I go back home. But unfortunately, this time I don't know if I'll be able to go home.
that's cool. So,
Yeah, so I mean, hopefully things change because there's always some things I bring back home from over here.
yeah. No, I think even just your words, it's just important for you to just speak up and people hear your opinion about things, just to share. Because I mean, a lot of people I think what I appreciate about you, right, is that you've gotten there, but you've never forgotten to look down again. Like, so there's this Dutch phrase that they say, um, you kiss up and kick down.
Hmm.
Right? So when someone gets up there, they just do whatever it is to stay up there. They kiss and they, right? So, but
Yeah,
as they're walking, they're kicking down, so they just don't care anymore. So
yeah,
this is why I appreciate it a lot when you come and make your time. Just like, hey man, I want to share my story. I want to say, yeah,
yeah. No, of course, of course. I
yeah,
I still think I've achieved a lot of things, but I still I don't believe I've made it yet. Um,
for
just
sure.
have to keep working.
So I'm just gonna give you like a few quick fire questions, right?
Okay,
Um, so I'd say you or your brother.
me.
Oh, it's easy. Okay,
Yep,
okay. Um, Nadal or Federer,
Pedro, for
and
sure.
why? Why?
Uh, just beautiful to watch, and I like the game style. I like Federer's game style much better.
Okay, skill or athleticism?
Skill.
Why? Why skill? I mean, skills is like so
Um,
serious. It's like ooh,
that's a tough one. I'd pick skill. I think you could be more. It's tough. You could be very creative with both, but I think I'd pick skill.
skill in there.
Yeah.
And then if the world was like ending now, right? Which tennis player would you choose to take the last shot, like to save the world?
Wait. Let me hear the question again.
So I'm saying if this was like I'm losing my diction. If this was like the end of the world and we needed like a savior, and for you to save the world, you only needed one athlete, one tennis athlete to take that shot. Who would it be?
Djokovic for sure. Djokovic for sure. He's
Okay,
not gonna miss it.
I'd also say Djokovic.
He's not gonna miss it. He, yeah, he's not gonna miss it. Yeah, Djokovic.
And then Venus Williams, Serena Williams.
Venus.
Okay, Venus. Okay, I'd
Yeah.
say Serena. I'd say
Uh,
Serena.
all the sibling thing for me. I
It's
think
to
that's what
say,
it is.
okay. And then who's your the South African tennis team? Who's the best tennis player?
Lloyd. Right now, Lloyd Harris. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Lloyd for sure.
Okay. Okay. I don't have any more questions to ask, but we've come. Unfortunately for me, on my side, we've come to the end of like a conversation.
No
I mean,
problem.
I'd love to continue um, this conversation another time, but unfortunately I have to go eat, and I'm sure you also have things to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But thanks a lot, bro. Thank you so much for taking your time.
No problem.
And for the people who are watching or who are still yet to watch, because we will upload this on YouTube on our channel
Okay.
so people can watch. I think it will be inspiring for them, you know. And if there
Yeah.
are any
Sure.
questions that I missed, I'm not sure if there's any question that I missed.
No, no. I enjoyed the questions you asked me. I enjoyed the
Yeah,
interview too, and whenever you upload the video, you can just let me know how I'll share it on my socials
for
and
sure,
everything.
for sure, man. Like, what's your last words? I mean, what would you say to a 10-year-old Sips who's never played tennis, is dreaming to leave the hood, doesn't have a racket, but has a dream to be a tennis player one day? What would you say to him?
Dream big, keep dreaming big. Um, the possibilities are endless, man. You know, sometimes, every day I think it's still pretty crazy that I'm in the U.S., studying and doing what I love, playing tennis, and my parents don't have to pay for it. And I never would have thought that just being in America for me is sometimes I'm amazed by that. So
For sure.
I just say keep dreaming big, and don't let anyone tell you can't do it.
Okay, I'll keep that for myself too. I'll keep that for myself too.
100%. Yeah.
You know. But Sips, bro, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Send my
it.
regards to the people around you.
I
Thank you
will.
for
I
your
will.
time. And I
No
took
problem.
all your time from them. So yeah, man, thank you so
No,
much.
it's so good. So good.
Yeah, you and your brother just keep doing great stuff. You and Kolo, I mean, it's young.
Thank you.
He's young, man. You know. Also saw some
Yeah.
stats what he's done so far. It's crazy, crazy.
Mhm.
You know. So the last you are actually the last athletes or people who play sports who have been as good as you guys, I'd say it's Kane and Undertaker. So that's the last group of yeah, that's the last group of brothers that I saw that are like really setting the stage alight. Yeah. Well,
It's it.
they Kane set the stage literally alight.
I
So
know,
yeah.
and that
So
was one of my brother's favorite WWE wrestlers. So but
wait,
yeah,
okay, wait, I'm going off track now. So who's the greatest wrestler of all time? I always have this argument.
I always liked Rey Mysterio, or actually Batista. Yeah,
I beg to differ, bro. Undertaker. Undertaker is
Undertaker.
the legend.
He's
Undertaker
tough.
is the
He's
GOAT.
tough.
If not Undertaker, John Cena. There's no
Oh,
way.
John Cena.
John Cena. John
No, that's
Cena,
good.
bro.
That's good.
Um, but thanks, bro.
No problem, bro.
Nice. It was great
No
speaking to
problem.
you. Take care, man.